My name is Siddharth. I'm one of the organizers and the postdoc at IAIFI. I'll just give some brief introductory remarks, motivating what the symposium is about, some logistical info about the workshop. So this event is really part of an initiative at MIT on mapping the future of generative AI. And there have been a series of calls for impact papers on generative AI. So the first one came out last summer. I'm not sure you can see the text, but it really talked about in the call a lot about publicly beneficial use, things like policy. And notably missing here was science. So this was, let's say, noticed. And in the second call last fall, scientific discovery was explicitly one of the central themes of the call. So this symposium is basically downstream of this call, and the goal here is to solicit discussion on generative AI and sciences, the physical sciences, more specifically, and to write a white paper on the topic. So we didn't feel it necessary to be confined to AI plus physics. Physics is really within an ecosystem in AI plus science, which is a growing and exciting movement. With fields at different scales, physical systems, from particle physics, materials, climate, cosmology, and different fields are at different stages in the kind of natural proof of concept to adoption to progress timeline. So one of the goals here is also to just learn about synergies, learn about where we are, what the differences are, what the similarities are between fields. So what's special about AI plus physics? This is a framing that I attribute to Carl Panda that I really like, which is that many fields within AI for science are really frontiers of AI. So they're pushing AI to methods development. And physics isn't really quite there yet, I would say. And one of the goals here for me would be, I think, to understand some of the reasons. Some of them are sociological, but I think also just in terms of problems, what it means for AI methods to be useful in physics can be very different from other fields. So for example, doing inference on new physics and particle physics, collider physics, cosmology, to be able to do discovery at like a 5 sigma level where you need to pin down your effects at the level of like 1 in 3 million. That's very different from say drug discovery or something where it's okay if your AI models aren't perfect as long as they give you like good candidates to follow up on and speed up the traditional iteration process, where AI methods have been very successful. There are many other examples. So in high energy physics and increasing astrophysics, the requirement to do really, really fast real-time inference, the Large Hadron Collider has collisions at the rate of 40 million times per second, and that's only going to get faster. So there's a need for algorithms that can handle that. And there's tons all over the place in physics. So the need to sample under complex symmetries and exactness guarantees, like in advanced field theories, statistical anomaly detection, finding rare events on top of smooth backgrounds, very different from kind of traditional outlier detection. And we just have a lot of highly structured models and data engineering processes in physics, which make for really nice playgrounds for AI models. So the takeaway is just that physics can be a frontier for AI, and one of the things we hope we'll discuss is just what could this mean and what could this look like. So the focus here at this meeting is generative AI and kind of by proxy foundation models. I don't think necessarily we need to overfit on specifically this aspect, but also one of the goals is to understand what does this paradigm mean? Is it kind of more of the same, or is it really a paradigm shift in how we do things? In many fields, obviously this is already augmenting existing capabilities in terms of being able to replace expensive simulators like molecular dynamics. There's analogies in particle physics and cosmology, so also emulating these complex processes that are otherwise cumbersome. But also the foundation model paradigm potentially is just a new way of doing things and interacting with the data where folks are building models that are useful for many things that are just trained in some like weakly supervised ways. So I really like this example from Elias Batatia et al. Of a foundation model for atomistic systems. So another kind of question of a discussion is just what does this paradigm mean in physics and the physical sciences more broadly? So we put together a series of broad themes and questions with the hope that the talks will reflect and inform some of these. So what is the potential impact of generative AI in physical sciences? And we've talked with David Hogg, Anna Scaife, Aristad, and a panel with David Hogg, Pavlos Malov, and Matt Schwartz. Obviously, the talks will be touching on many topics, but just as a way of categorizing. Then what are the synergies and differences from other fields? So talks like Kevin Yang, Simon Basna, and Song Han. Pathways for contribution from the physical sciences to influence generative AI. So this is more in the physics for AI direction. And we have talked about ignorance knockout. And then finally, what is needed from a community perspective point of view to achieve these impacts? And we'll have a panel with Dan Petalova, Vijay Reddy, and Jesse Thiela here today on that. So at MIT, IAIFI is really one of the places that seems well poised to try and start getting at these questions. So IAIFI is one of the inaugural NSF AI institutes. It is a collaboration of 4 universities in the Boston area: MIT, Harvard, Tufts, and Northeastern, with different units and departments within those universities, CS, physics, CCS, and so on. And broadly, IAIFI deals with AI plus physics. So fundamental interaction sometimes evokes like particle physics or something, but it's really broader than that. We work broadly across AI and physics. So here you've already connected with IAIFI in some form, but we have the usual socials, like and subscribe. And also we do kind of various publicly facing events like colloquia. Coming up, Sold Out VR will be coming, Jennifer Kadiuba up next. And then we have a summer workshop, which will have its 3rd iteration this coming summer, which is kind of like this, but a little bit broader in scope, I think, and a little bit more publicly facing. So registrations are open. Feel free to have a look at that. In terms of organizers, so there's a bunch of us from IAIFI organizing Symposium. Phil Harris and Michaela Shanahan are professors at MIT Physics. And myself and Guy Grosso are postdocs at IAIFI. And Ursula Fleur, who you've probably got emails from, has done the hard work of actually putting together the event. So in terms of scheduling, right after this, we'll jump into the morning session of talks by Anna Scaife and Simon Basna, and then talks in the afternoon by Kevin Yang and David Hogg. And finally, we'll have a panel on community perspectives. We'll have coffee breaks and a lunch break in the middle. This will be a working lunch with lunch provided for the speakers. On second day, we'll start off with a panel on the impacts of generative AI in physics. And we'll have talks by Song Han, Aristad, and Generative before finally having a fireside chat with Jared Kaplan from Anthropic, moderated by Jesse Thiela, who's the IAIFI director.